Right, Craig, Lions are at it again. This is not a headliner just because we didn't add anybody, and we
Mm.
didn't really release anybody, but instead we kind of did that all in one move. We restructure Okwara's contract to basically say, hey, man, if you want to stay here, you have to take a huge pay cut. And he does. He takes a $9 million pay cut to stay with the Lions. It goes from an $11 million salary down to $2 million. Your initial thoughts on this as you see a huge pay cut and a cap space saver?
How? Like, how did we get him to agree to this? I mean, is it because his brother's on the team? Is there some magic that we don't know about? I mean, is it, do we know something about his Achilles where it's like, no, it's not great? I mean, if we had just flat cut him, we wouldn't have saved this much money. But by
Sure.
restructuring this, we we can sign Gardner Johnson and not lose a penny. I'm just amazed at this. And this isn't the first guy to do it. Charles Harris did it first.
Yep.
And that was 3 million. He didn't have as much to work with. So I guess I'm going to throw back to you in a second here. My immediate reaction is, what kind of magic did they perform to get him to agree to this? And why would he do it?
100%. And right, what do we don't what is it that we don't know? Because remember how good of a season he had. Got a big contract. He was our best player on a really bad team with Matt Patricia. Gets a big contract, then
Yeah.
gets injured, comes back a little bit. Remember he played and couldn't, kind of got on the field, kind of didn't. So it was kind of weird last year. So maybe he's not as healthy and ready to go, or maybe we're seeing something. But the point is, oh my gosh, you just take this guy that had a big time deal, and we could have easily just said we cut you, but instead we essentially say, hey man, we're gonna cut you. You can go look for another deal out there, or we'll give you this deal. And he takes it, and yeah, you give him it. It's just like, if he's not half the player, but if he's just anywhere close to where he was, that's a great depth defensive end that can play for us for a great salary. It just is really a good deal.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you don't remember what that looked like, it was the COVID season, 2020.
Yep.
And he's only started 9 games, but he played in all 16. He had 10 sacks. He had, another 44 tackles, 18
Awesome.
QB hits, and 11 tackles for loss. Like, this is a guy, it's not like a guy that was putting up poor stats. And even last year in 5 games, he got 2 sacks,
Yeah.
or 4 games, whatever it was. So when he did come back, I remember seeing him get a couple sacks. He played in very limited duty. But this is just another one of those moves. You, me, everybody listening to this video, we never saw previous regimes do it. No player was taking a pay cut. No player. Fine, cut me, and I'll go somewhere else. I'm not taking a pay cut to stay and play for this crap organization, for this crap coach, and this crap GM who I don't respect. All of a sudden now it's like everybody's just like, oh, can I take a pay cut?
Yeah.
Anybody? I would love to take a pay cut if you want me to. It's just
You're
amazing
so right.
to me.
You have an opportunity to stay. You're like, I'm going to stay. Because, I just go out in the open market. I got to move. I got all this stuff. When you're right, there's just something to, I'm going to stick around here. I'll just take what they're offering me. I think it's about what I would get out there anyway. And I'm just going to stay, because you're so right. Why would you stay when you could be like, I'll take my chances out there? I'm not going to stay for this Matt Patricia dude, or, just go through the past regimes, or where are we going? What's the direction? I just don't know, versus guys actually want to stay here. The whole thing, this is why, dude, and the whole thing of the culture, it sounds so corny until you actually see it play out. And then, I kind of get it now, because the guys want to stay. They'll take a little bit less money. Not even less money, but just, you have an opportunity, all things being equal. I'll just stay here. I get what they're doing. I'm valued. They want to see me do well. They actually talk to me. I've got a GM that's not just a transactional guy. He's actually, hey, here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm not just going to release you. It doesn't have to be cutthroat. It can be, hey, we are going to release you, and this is what we might be able to, there's just more, you can make it work. And so it's just great to see all of it come together. And this is what, it's 32 NFL teams. They've all got really good coaches. They've all got really good players, but there has to be that extra culture thing that's making all this happen. It's hard to see with your own eyes and be like, is this our team? This is great.
There's no way. Can you go back to what his number would have been before the restructure in this? So 14.5. Everybody knows he's not worth 14.5.
Right.
And when he signed the contract, I think everybody knew he was never going to get that. So
yes.
I think unless he continued to have like 10, 11, 12, 13 sack seasons, which I don't think that was the expectation that he would do that. So it's like, yeah, okay, fine. 14.5. He knew this day was coming. I'm just amazed because they actually end up saving more money than they would have before. And what this tells me is, here's kind of their belief. They have people who can do certain things, but on the edge, defensive end, whether you put them, whether it's the NASCAR package, whether it's first, second down, whether it's running down, you are going to have players going in and out of there like crazy.
Oh.
Right. Hutchinson's going to continue to play almost every snap. We understand that. I do understand. I understand that. But then you got Kaminsky, you've got Okwara, you have Pascal, who are all somewhat similar players. You have Houston. You are just going to be running through guys, getting them on the field. They might only see 40% of the snaps, but they're going to be fresh and they're going to be going all out. So I think I'm just kind of impressed with what this does for our defensive line as well, because I don't think Okwara is going to be less healthy than he was a year ago.
That's right.
I don't, or when he ended the season, I think he's just going to continue to rehab well. We all know Achilles. Some people can come back in 9 months. Some people come back in a year, but you're not back for 18 months. You're
That's
not
right.
back,
And
unless you're Cam Akers, but even it was closer to the 1 year to 18 months before he started playing well at the end of last year for the Rams.
And you nailed it. You're fresh. You've got guys. It's a snowball effect in the positive direction versus last year when Kaminsky went out, Pascal wasn't healthy yet.
Right.
It's like, oh boy, we had a 3-4 game stretch against Seahawks, Miami Dolphins, where it's like, you can't.
Brutal.
It just goes to show when you don't have a pass rush, forget it. I mean, we know you got to stop the run, all these things, but I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to just have a presence and so to your point, you're going to have guys coming in fresh, and then you're going to draft a guy probably. So
yeah, man, maybe.
Yeah,
Can I tandem off this? And I'm going to be wrong because Will Anderson's going to fall to us, or we're going to take Tyree Wilson or whatever. Am I the only one who doesn't see why everybody shows an edge to us? Because I might be wrong here, but we have a lot of guys that play at the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like a defensive end, sorry, not edge. There's a big difference, but we do have a lot of guys who set the edge. Kaminsky, Okwara, Pascal, Hutchinson. Yes. I look at all these guys. They're all in the 260s, 270s for weight. They can all move inside if you need them to. They can all set the edge on the running game. They all rush the passer at a decent-ish level, right? Why does everybody have us going with an edge?
It's just the classic, I don't know what we should do here. There's some edges that are highly rated. Lions, you take them. And it's like,
you take them. You need best available. Yeah.
I'm with you. What do you think? I'll just real quick. I know we're just the quarter. So what do we take at 6 then? If we're pretty loaded up at D end, do you try to get out of there, or do you entertain the QB?
I don't know if people want to hear what I have to say. If it's Richardson, I don't entertain the QB. And it's not because I don't like Richardson. It's just, it's not the guy that Holmes is typically gone for. Remember, he's the one who was the Jared Goff apologist that was like, trade the farm to get the first pick for Goff. I think he's a guy who values accuracy almost over anything else. So if you're sitting there and it's Levis, I might pull the trigger. If it's Stroud or Young somehow, which it won't be, 100%, I'm pulling the trigger. That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I think CJ Stroud is Jared Goff, just more mobile. So I don't, I would entertain quarterback, or I would trade back. I don't think I'd sit there and go Christian Gonzalez. Not anymore. I would have been perfectly fine with that a week ago before we got 3 really good DBs in free agency. 100%. I know they can't be here forever, so it still might make sense. But if you're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, you know, and then again continue to compete down the line. I don't think you go corner with the 6th pick. I think you try and get either your quarterback of the future or you trade back and get multiple pieces.
100%. That's what's going to be so interesting. What's
What
available, kind of the big board is saying there's corner and D end is available there at 6, and we don't really need that. So I don't know, man.
And in almost every mock, they have the Raiders taking a quarterback right after us.
Mm-hmm. So
who knows? Maybe people go nuts and Will Anderson falls to us. And even that, I would go Anderson, I think, because Houston was an awesome story. I just don't know if that's who he is all the time.
That's right.
You know, whereas Will Anderson, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of good.
Absolutely.
So, and Houston's great. Don't hear me dogging on him. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think it's fair to expect a guy who is drafted in the 6th round to continually put up 8 to 15 sacks every year.
A sack a game. Thank you.
A sack a game. That's what he did. Yeah, he'll do that. He'll have 7. If we start him, he'll easily have 20 sacks this year. Right. Easy.
Oh my gosh. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this. Just a nice, quiet little move. We're just saving a bunch of cap money, and the Lions continue to do good things. Excited for it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.